Columbia County News. Wherever the story breaks, wherever the news goes, Columbia County News will bring it to you. With Debbie Corsilia and Mark Johnson with sports. And now, here's Debbie.
Welcome to Columbia County News, the place for the latest in local information. I'm your host, Debbie Corsilia. To keep you in touch with your community, keep it right here. The St. Helens Fire District is offering citizens another means of transportation, which addresses the needs of clients who do not necessarily need an ambulance. It's a non-emergency wheelchair stretcher service ready to carry people to their dentist's or doctor's office, as well as to treatment appointments or from the hospital to home. Here's Division Chief Brian Burright for more.
The St. Helens Rural Fire District is extremely happy and excited to have this new service to offer the citizens of the greater St. Helens area. For many years, for people that needed transportation, all we could offer them was an ALS or a BLS ambulance, advanced life support or basic life support ambulance. And it was discouraging when people just needed a non-ambulatory, non-emergency transportation to doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, transfers out of hospitals to home to hospitals, whatever, that we didn't have the vehicle nor the means to be able to provide that transportation. So to recognize that service that really is a great need out in the community as well as Columbia County, St. Helens Rural Fire District implemented this program of a non-emergency transport vehicle for stretchers and for wheelchair cars. Okay. Or wheelchair, excuse me. It's going to be a lot cheaper than using an ordinary BLS or an ALS ambulance. The cheapest ambulance ride that you could take was a basic life support ambulance, which would cost you at least $500. With this, we're looking at an average of $170. We have the fees are a wheelchair transport, $25. Stretcher is going to be $60. If we need an extra attendant, it'll be a $20 charge for that, and $2 a mile for either a stretcher or a wheelchair transport.
I'm one of the primary drivers of this medical transport, and we provide service to the community between 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. That's our regular hours, and that's 5 days a week. Saturday is 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then during the week, in the evenings, it is, or at night, it's, we're on call. They can call 2990 and there's a recording which will give them my pager number, or whoever's the attendant, it'll give them their pager number. Okay.
Basically what we wanted, JJ, is a 24-hour service that people could access this service whenever they needed to be transported from hospitals. Sometimes if patients are transported to the hospitals anytime during the day and they might require transportation back home and can't do so in a private vehicle, then we want to be able to go up and provide that service for them. It can be used for any kind of transport, you know, I mean, even a respite transport for people that are locked into home and just, you know, need to get out and maybe enjoy a beautiful day like today. I don't care if they want to just go for a drive in the country. They can give us a call and we can come in and pick up some of those people that have a difficult time, you know, on any other kind of transport vehicle. So we want to make sure that people realize that.
The Columbia Center is hosting a computer art show which opened Thursday, January 8th. The show, which runs until February 28th, focuses on computer art, with Emily Young as their feature artist. Young, a premier computer artist who has displayed her works all throughout the Northwest, presented a slideshow of art from around the world. We take you now to the Columbia Center for a closer look.
This is one in a long line of different art exhibits that the Columbia Center has had in its walls and in its building. Can you tell me what makes this one special tonight?
Well, we have a computer art show. It's called The New Art, and we're featuring 4 artists. Emily Young, who is teaching at Lewis and Clark. She retired from PSU last year, and she has a large body of work on this wall. And then we have Gerald Tilley, Mayona Urban, and George Troop.
And some of these artists, I know at least Emily has been working in the computer realm for quite some time, right?
Yes, in fact, I'm almost certain that she was one of the first recognized women computer artists at the Oregon Historical Society.
Great, great. And it looks like she's got a definite motif or a definite genre to her art, which is Native American.
Yes, this particular series are images of the Northwest, and she does have a lot of Native American pieces.
And they're great too. The video camera that I have here doesn't do them justice at all. People have to come down to the Tech Center or the Columbia Center and take a look at them.
Yes, we're open, let's see, Monday through Thursday, 10 to 9, the Tech Center's open, but the library's open too, and we welcome the public.
And how long is the exhibit going on for?
Till February 28th.
Okay, and I mentioned the Columbia Center Art Committee. Tell us a little bit about that and some of the work that it's done to get these artists in. It sounds like it's quite a bit of work, but it sounds like it's worth it too.
I think this is like our 8th show that we've had here, and we've really tried to involve the community. We've had the Coapa League Art Show, which involved 8 Columbia County high schools, and actually a couple high schools, Seaside, Tillamook, and we've had a lot of Columbia County and Northwest artists in the area show their work, different kinds, different mediums, photography, and we had a straight shooting exhibit, which was a photography exhibit that featured high-risk youth who had photographers as mentors. And so that was a really nice show. So we've had a lot of sculpture, and the upcoming shows are, once again, we're going to have St. Helens High School and also feature the alternative high schools and their work.
It's great stuff, and it really shows some of the rich, diverse culture that we have in this county.
Yes, and I also would like to say one more thing. We have Emily Young, who couldn't be with us tonight because she has the flu, is going to give us a workshop February 7th from 9 to 12:30. Call 397-1139 if you're interested. She will be doing her slide presentation of United States artists who use computers and various techniques.
How long have you been using computers for your art?
I've been using them only about 10 months.
And how long have you been an artist?
Forever. About 40 years.
So it's a very, very new medium for you, right?
Yes, it is.
What kind of advantages does it have over your traditional form of art?
It's much faster and much easier to reposition pictures, to make different changes to your composition. And check it out, it's kind of like previewing something. You can preview what you've done. If you don't like it, you can change it rather than on the palette or on the easel. When you're painting, if you make a change, then you have to, it's kind of hard to wipe it out and start all over.
Computer art has been around for a while. What took you so long to get into it? Were you rebelling as a artist, or you just maybe a little reluctant at first?
No, what I wanted to do was wait until I got the right kind of computer and all the software and hardware. And my brother had been in computers for about 12 years. And so he says, with 8 megabytes of hard drive or whatever you've got, it's not enough to do the kind of work that I do, because it takes sometimes 25, 30 megabytes just for one picture. And so you need at least 16 megabytes of RAM plus about at least a gigabyte of hard drive before you can do this kind of work.
Last week, we saw some moments from the Scappoose High School Hall of Fame banquet. This week, it's St. Helens' turn. The Lion Booster Club held a Hall of Fame dinner on Saturday, January 3rd, to recognize some of the best of the St. Helens Senior High School.
George graduated in 1938. While he was here, he played running back on the high school team during the football season, and he was selected to the all-county team his senior year. He was also a pitcher on the baseball team, and a pretty fair one from what I hear. In addition, in the spring, George was a fine track athlete. He also threw the javelin, and then and he pole vaulted. He actually held the school record in the pole vault for quite a few years.
Well, again, I just want to say thank you very much. It's a great honor and a privilege. I guess I should probably start, with Andy Knudsen and Bert Burr, and I never like to make any fun or poke jolly at anybody, but you all know that Gene was my basketball coach.
Well, I'm not as good a speaker as Milt was, but I do want to thank everybody. Can't tell you what it meant to get the letter in the mail and know that I was remembered after all these years.
But I do want to thank all the coaches. I guess I wouldn't really be here without you guys teaching me throughout the years. I've had a lot of coaches, and Bill Rawlings is definitely one that stands out the most. Softball was probably the most memorable sport through the years, and just too many memories of going to state and all the good players and all the teams that we competed against. So I really owe, and I want to thank my parents, Glenn and Sally Miller, my grandparents, Ted and Hazel Henningsen.
Mr. Bingham's very flattering, and it's real nice to be honored here by your peers, and especially by my family. They mean a lot to me. But I don't want you guys to ever forget that, or I don't want to ever forget where I came from, and it means a lot to me to be from a small town. It gives me an advantage, I feel like, when people ask where I'm from. I'm from St. Helens, Oregon. They're like, "You're from the mountain?"
We were a dominant team all season long despite losing 3 games. We outscored our opponents 407 to 189. And total offensive-wise, we were 363 yards a game to our opponents' 207. But nothing compared to our run through the playoffs. We outscored our opponents 149 to 29. That's a 37-7 scoring advantage. We set a state 3A final record for the most points scored by the winning team in the final game, scoring 52 against the Dalles. 53, excuse me. It was a team of great depth. We had a tremendous amount of talent and a tremendous amount of ball players who could play. We had 3 running backs gain over 600 yards, and 1, Greg Scarborough, went over 1,000. We had 9 players catch passes during the season, 6 of them caught them for touchdowns. We had 11 different players score touchdowns. We had 18 players either recover a fumble or intercept a pass.
You may have heard the news. Tony's Shoes will soon change owners. Nancy Federici, after many years in the local shoe business, has decided to pass the reins of the well-known St. Helens store. The new owner, Robin Bodiat, spoke at a recent Lions Club meeting and explained why he chose to move from Chicago and take over the business.
I typed up my resignation and we resigned from a company and had in the back of my mind that I was going to go in the business for myself. Now, for these other companies, we've bought shoe stores and we've done several things like that all over the United States, but this one was going to be for me, and I had to have certain stipulations. And I was looking at a store in Florida, and I was looking at a store in Texas, and I happened to be talking to a gentleman by the name of Bill Betke, who is the president of the National Shoe Retailers Association of America. And he said, "Well, Robin, I know that you're looking for a certain store and so forth. What is it you want?" I said, "Well, I want to have a very well-established store. I want to be in an area that there's an opportunity for growth." He said, "Fine, great." About 3 weeks later, about the last week of August, he called me and says, "I may have just exactly what you're looking for." And I said, "Fine, who?" And he says, "It's out in St. Helens, Oregon. And the lady's name is Nancy Federici. I'll fax you the information, and I'll leave the rest up to you." So on about probably the week after Labor Day or about that time, I called out and introduced myself to Nancy, and she said, "Well, I've heard a little bit about you, and I'll send you some more information." At the time, she was working with a real estate broker, and they contacted me, and on September the 13th, my wife and I made a trip to St. Helens. Before coming, I love to plan and use time wisely, so it was a Saturday night. If you remember, there was an accident out here on Route 30. I think the highway was detoured, and I've traveled all over the United States. When I say that, from New York to San Francisco, from Florida, and I don't have a hard time with directions ever. So we got in the plane, we rented a car. I had it set up so that I wanted to meet with a real estate agency on Sunday so I could look at the homes in the area, because Nancy's store wasn't open, and I love that because our stores are always open on Sunday. Another thing that Nancy, she made sure that she said, "Now, Robin, when you come there on Monday, make sure you don't have a shirt and tie on," because I had a blue suit, shirt and tie, business. She said, "You're going to be comfortable and casual. If you have a tie on, we'll have it off you before you even." So anyway, here I am coming down the highway, and we're staying at the Best Western. I see the sign, and there's this man with this light. He stops me, he says, "There's been a bad accident, you can't go this way, take a right." Well, there was nobody. I took a right, but I kept traveling. Nobody was at the other end of that road to tell me to turn back up. Here I was, at that time did not know, but I'm going down Portland Road, Old Portland Road, traveling into the downtown in Boise, Cascade and that. But we did work our way back. We did stay at the Best Western. We did work with a real estate agency. I did work with Nancy on Monday. All the figures that I needed and what Nancy had put together for me all added up that, one could not lose in a situation that was presented to me at the time.
And here's what's featured at the Columbia Theater. And for more information regarding the showtimes, you can call 397-9791. At the Columbia Humane Society, they would be more than willing to help you pick out a new family member. Here's Pet of the Week.
It's that time of year again. We have lots and lots of puppies down here at the shelter, and all kinds, sizes. I bet there's about 17 different puppies between the Humane Society and the dog control side. We have about 7 of these here in different colors. They are Aussie Shepherds and Lab mixes. This one happens to look like Yellow Lab and Aussie Shepherd, and is 2 months old. We also have pure Black Labs, puppies that is, and just need lots of homes, looking for lots of good homes for these puppies. Columbia Humane Society is charging $75 for their puppies, and that includes spaying or neutering and all shots, and it's $55 from animal control side for their puppies, and you get $30 refund back when you have them neutered or spayed. Once again, we have lots of puppies and need lots of homes. Come down and look at our puppies first before you go somewhere else. This is Carbon, and Carbon belongs to Columbia Humane Society. He's 3 to 4 years old, long-haired black kitty, very sweet, can be an inside or an outdoor kitty, so he's probably lived both ways. He's neutered and is available from Columbia Humane Society for $45. Has all his shots and is leukemia tested negative. Carbon. He's a sweetie, really a nice, mild, nice-tempered cat, as you can see. Nothing spooks him.
To bring you this week's Employment Division Report, here's Employment Specialist Jim Farrar.
This week I'd like to talk to you a little bit about what types of services the Oregon Employment Department can offer people who are looking for work. We have a resource room that has various computers in there that you can access different job listings that we currently have with different employers throughout the state and also here locally. And we also have computers in there that you can type up a resume or maybe write a letter if you are writing a cover letter to an employer and sending a resume. You can do all that. And all our services that we have are free to anyone who wants to use them. So, you know, the best thing to do is come down and check out the resource room because there are various things. We also have books in there that you can look at. They have various books on resume writing, cover letters, how to find a job, maybe interviewing skills and stuff like that, so it can prepare you a little bit. We also hold free workshops for people who maybe want to learn a little bit more what they can put on a resume or how to put a resume together. And the class also, in the resume class, you can also put a resume together, and when you come out of that class, you'll have a resume in your hand. And that class is every other Tuesday, and it's from 1 to 4. And the best thing to do is call and find out when the next one is, because we have various different weeks that we do offer various different workshops. And we also have an interviewing workshop and also an application and cover letter workshop. So you might want to just check and see what times are available and what times you might want to attend one. We also have, in our research room, we have newspapers that you can look at. We have locally, and we also have, like the Oregonian, the Sunday one that has the employment section in it. We also have 3 other computers that are outreached in different areas, and one is in Rainier at the City Hall, and another one is in Vernonia at Century Market, and another one is in Scappoose at the high school pharmacy. And these computers, you can look at various jobs that we do have listed in our computer system. So if you live in Vernonia, you can access a job that you could access in our resource room, but not having to leave and drive clear to St. Helens to do that. And all you'd have to do is just call us up on the phone and say you're interested in this position. And as long as these facilities are open, you can go into these places of business and look at the machine. We also have a workshop coming up, and this is going to be geared more towards employers, but it's a workshop on tax credit, and it's going to be on January 21st, and it's going to start at 7:30 and it's going to go to 9:30. And this workshop is free, and it is at the employment department. So if you're interested in attending this, please give us a call so we can know how many people are going to be there. I kind of like to go over some job orders we currently do have in our computer system at the moment. We have a RN LPN, and that pay is depend on your experience, and that is in St. Helens. We have a QMHP, and that starts out at $26,381 a year to $33,670 a year, and that's in St. Helens. And we have a office helper, part-time, full-time. Actually, that's 2 positions, and that's $6 an hour to start. That's in Scappoose. We have a dishwasher, kitchen helper, $6 an hour, and that is also in Scappoose. We have a small engine mechanic. The pay is depend on your experience, and that is in Claskenai. We have a yarder operator, $11.56 an hour to $14.45, depend on your experience, and that's in Deer Island. Pit loader operator, $9.58 an hour to $13.69, depend on your experience, and that is in Deer Island also. Construction worker, $8 an hour, and that is in Scappoose. Crusher operator, $10.51 an hour to $13.69 an hour, and that is in St. Helens. And that is a report from the employment department for the week.
For the latest in local sports, here's CCTV's Chuck Purvis.
Thanks, Debbie. It's been Down Under week in South County. Teams from Australia visited both Scappoose and St. Helens. The St. Helens Lions proved to be too much for the Queensland Whirlwinds. CCTV cameraman shot these highlights.
Man-to-man defense. Taken away by Du Bois. Ahead to Cox. Queensland breaks the press. Takes it all the way, up and in. Nice. Roy's had a man open, didn't pass to him, and turned it back over again. Nathan Kiernan. Cox from the corner.
There you go.
Cox on the drive for the Lions. Jeremy Cox for 3. Kiernan are having a good game. Drive by Cox. Have you ever been to the United States before?
No. It's our first time. First time.
Okay, what are you having a good time?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're traveling a lot.
Great.
Yeah, good
Great time, yeah.
What's your most memorable experience so far?
Probably the game against Kings West. Yeah, we played a high school called Kings West, and we won that in double overtime. It was a pretty good game. Yeah, that's probably our best game yet, actually. Yeah.
The final score, 76-48, enforced our belief that the St. Helens Lions are going to be a real factor in the Coapa League boys basketball this year. The Knox Basketball Club from Melbourne appeared at the Scappoose Gymnasium. The team of all-stars from a city of over 3.5 million make a regular thing of international travel during their summer. The Indians were ready and handed the game bunch from down under a 101-49 setback. And here are some of the highlights. Looks like there's a good basketball race shaping up in the Coapa League boys action. On Saturday, January 17th, the Scappoose St. Helens Chamber of Commerce is bringing the Blazer alumni team to the St. Helens High School gym. The Blazer alums will take on 4 local teams representing Boise Cascade, Les Schwab Tires, Longfellow's Inn, and Electric Light Inc. Well, that's all the sports up to the moment. I'm Chuck Purvis for CCTV. Thanks, and back to you, Debbie.
Well, that's it for this edition of Columbia County News, and we want to thank you very much for watching. I'm Debbie Corsilia, inviting you back next week for more news from around the county.
I'm Nancy Federici. So, this is your neighborhood. Do you know the kids around here? Do you know your own kids? Children imitate what they see, and parents are the strongest role models for their own kids and for others. You can be a good role model. Avoid drinking, smoking, and drugs, so your children will too. For more information, contact the Commission on Children and Families at 397-7211. Parents!
It's our powerful teachers!